Good evening, everyone. This is Communication in 4. We're starting with Module 3 for communication. The module is all about organizational communication, and this lesson is just an introduction. So, just a reminder that this lesson is for communication students only. So, if you're doing management communication, that means if you're doing a course like human resource management or business management or marketing management, financial management, or those others, you are in the wrong place. You don't have to do this module, but if you are doing manager's assistant, legal secretary, medical secretary, you are at the right place. It's a very, very short module, but it's a very important module because it lays the foundation for the whole of N5's work. So let's jump straight into it. An organization is defined as a group of people who work together towards a common goal. So that means these people are working together as a system because they have one thing in mind. They want to reach one goal, which is more often than not to make money. So everything they do is to reach that goal, right? So now, in light of that, organizational communication, therefore, is how people communicate in order to reach that goal. The ways that they communicate, the ways that superiors or seniors communicate with juniors, and they communicate with each other to ensure that the goal is eventually reached. Now, if we refer back to Module 1, we would have seen the importance of effective communication and how a lot of things can go wrong in your organization if the communication is not on point. So, yeah, we are going to explore that a little bit further. But remember, I said this is just a slight foundation for everything that will happen in N5. There are different ways that people in an organization communicate. And the first way is through written communication. Here we refer to our business letters, our memos, our emails, our fax covers, and all those things that you will, telephone messages that are written down, all those things that you will cover in the practical side of the subject. So as long as it's written down on a piece of paper or typed, and there are words that need to be read, it's referred to as written communication. The second type of communication in an organization is oral. So that's spoken, what I'm doing right now. Um, During meetings, there's speaking going on. During telephone calls, during conference calls, during video calls, and all of that, there's speaking going on. So that is your oral communication. And then lastly, non-verbal communication is as important as the verbal communication where you use words. So the non-verbal communication is where you don't use any words, but you listen to the tone of someone's voice, or you look at their body language, the way that they are dressed, and all of that. And as discussed again in Module 1, it is as important to look at the nonverbal communication as it is to look at the words that are actually spoken. So, organizational communication can be divided into two categories. The first one is internal communication, where members of the organization communicate with each other. When you get or receive orders to do something, where you greet each other in the morning when you get to the office, where you say goodbye, you have a chat during lunch, you have a meeting, you speak to each other during the meeting, all of that is internal communication because the members belong to the same organization and they communicate with each other. So the opposite of that, the second part, is your external communication. It is when members of the organization communicate with the public, with the organization's public. So that would be advertising, it would be notices, sales letters that go out, marketing that happens by an organization where they give a message to people who do not belong to the same organization. It's not so important, just know the difference between the two, know how to identify it, and then in N5, we come down on this quite heavily. It is a large part of the N5 syllabus. So if you have any questions, please email me at yefkester@gmail.com. Notes for this module will be uploaded in a new Google Classroom. The code for that classroom is outocvv. Elsewhere on the site, there is a short instructional video showing you how to get into how to get into a Google Classroom. And like I said, if you want the notes or anything for this, or backup information for this module, the code to use is right there on your screen. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, bye.